Okay, so we're going to make a short video showing you how to generate a sine wave with this wave generator and scope, and also how to measure the sine wave and get some values out of it. And so this is the signal that we're going to generate, and from here you can derive from this equation that's going to be this is going to be your amplitude, so you're going to have 2 volts peak, and from here you can derive the frequency. So in order to find the frequency, we know that inside these parentheses is going to be 2 pi ft. So if we took this and divided out the 2 pi, we would have our frequency. So 100 hertz is the signal that we're going to expect to have. And also from this you can derive the period, so the period is going to equal 1 over f, or 1 over 100. So turn on the scope and function generator. Also, this is the cable we're going to be using. So we're going to hook up one end of the cable to the wave generator output and the other end to the channel 1 input, where we're going to read the signal. So as soon as this turns on, we can get the signal going that we want. So to start off, we're going to click on the wave gen button right here, and then down here we're going to have some options as to what we want the frequency and amplitude to be for the signal. So we want a sine waveform, which is already set up for. Change that. You can just push this button and then use this knob over here, but we're going to use a sine waveform, so we're just going to stay with that. So we just click that to make sure. Then down here we have a frequency of 100 hertz, which is what we want already, but we can click that to change the frequency. I'm just going to leave it at 100. And here for the amplitude, we have 4 volts peak to peak, and earlier we had 2 volts peak, but the peak to peak voltage is going to equal twice the peak voltage, so it's going to equal 4 volts, which is what we have here. So now that this is being generated, we can hook this cable up to get the signal, and then in order to read the signal, we're going to attach it to the other end, to channel 1. And this is on channel 1, but if you're not on it, you can toggle channel 1 being on or off by pushing this on or off button. So there we have the signal. And there's a couple different ways to measure it. Measure these, say we're going to measure peak to peak voltage, RMS voltage, amplitude, which is the same as the peak voltage, and the frequency, which is inversely proportional to the period. So the first way we can do it is go over here under the measure section, just click measure, and then if we go down here we can select the measurements that we want. So first you select the source 1, we're already on, so we'll stick with that. Then the type of measurement you want, and then you can scroll up or down. Let's add RMS, and then just click add measurement, and the measurement should come up right over here. And that's the measurement that I would expect, 1.43 volts, because your RMS voltage is going to be, for a sine wave, is going to be 0.707 times V peak equals about 1.43 volts. If this is 2. So we have that voltage, we have the frequency measurement already up there, and the way we got that is going over here. And finding frequency, and just click add measurement. So we have peak to peak there also, which is found by doing the same thing. And what else do we need? Peak to peak. So amplitude. And the amplitude is going to be found right there. And that says 4.1 volts, which is not quite right. That's the full amplitude, but anyways. Oh, yeah, and you can also find those measurements by using the cursors. So you come up here to measure, press cursor, and a couple cursors will show up. You can select which cursor you want, a horizontal or vertical, by pushing this button. You have X1, X2, X1, and this is, if this says length, it means the cursors move together. So if we want to measure the V peak, we could just select this Y1, move it up to the 0 voltage, then push this button again to select Y2, and just move that to the peak. So there we can see that the V peak is right at 2 volts from the difference from the Y cursors. And to measure the period, select X1, bring it to the origin, X2, and go to the next, go after one cycle, and you can see that the 1 over the change in X is 100 Hertz, and the change in X is 10 milliseconds, which is the period.